Glad that's over. Now I can go and have a bun or something. Hi, I'm a very soggy Ali McLaren, and this week on the vodcast, you join me in Belfast at the entrance to the dry dock where they built the Titanic nearly 100 years ago. It's time for the Wednesday weigh-in at the weekend. We have got obviously everything in place. We've got the video running for the vodcast and stuff like that. But what you can't see, obviously, because you're listening to the radio, and what you can't see in the video at the moment is Barry Snedden is taking the studio to pieces, because we realised just as we were going on air that we don't have our extra mic on the exceptionally long cable that they normally do. I'm getting a little bit worried about what he's doing to the studio at the moment. I think he's put it in the wrong side. Never mind. Well, we'll get it there eventually. But anyhow, the Wednesday weigh-in at the weekend is the thing that's been running for so many weeks. We're on week 8 now, and the guys on Wednesday doing exceptionally well. Me on the weekend, it really took me until a couple of weeks ago before I finally started losing weight, and it took me to last week before I got down underneath my original weight. Which of course was a very exciting time. So I set myself a challenge on the vodcast last week. If you watch the vodcast, it's at youtube.com/geekyalley. If you watch the vodcast, then you'll know that I set myself a challenge, and it was, this week I have to be 14 stone and 10 pounds. Last week 14 stone 12 pounds. This week's got to be 14 stone 10 pounds. I've had a terrible week. Just to do my Barry Snedden, I've had a terrible week. I couldn't exercise this week because I had gout in my wrist, my left wrist, and it was up like a balloon. And it was just, even just sitting with it, even across your chest, it was still amazingly sore. So it didn't really make you want to go out or run or anything like that, which was just going to, put pulses of pain through it. Anyhow, got that kind of back down to size. Wearing a watch for the first time in almost a week really, and I was away. I was out on Thursday night. I was in Belfast, and we were out for dinner, and then went out to a very famous pub in Belfast, the Crown, which you really should go and visit. It's great. It's got a little booth. You go and sit in a little booth. You could be doing anything in there. We had a few pints of Guinness in there. So I just thought, this isn't going to happen. So am I heavier? But I have eaten not so badly. Am I heavier? Am I lighter? Time to find out. Time to go and start these scales going. These scales are warming up. I shall stand on the aforementioned scales, and we come up with a weight. Interesting. We have a weight. Do you want to know what the weight is? I'll tell you next. The really interesting thing about all that. So I stood in there before and I got one weight, and I stood in there again and got 1.5 pounds heavier than that last week.
Oh!
So I'm doing a stewards enquiry. Yes?
I know what it is. Headphones.
Let's find out. I'm having none of that. No, see. Oh.
No?
Yeah, headphones. Oh no, it's gone up.
What? So, 14.11.
Well, okay, it's only half of it because it was 14.10 and a half.
That's still not ideal, isn't it?
Gotta go with whatever it is, I suppose. I'm determined to get this to do it, because I will have to put this in this week.
The headphones definitely add weight, though, definitely.
Yeah. Well, that's rubbish then, isn't it? I was 14.8 and a half in the house earlier on. The weight this week. So last week it was 14 stone 12. This week I was trying for 14 stone 10. I ate vaguely sensibly this week. Didn't do any exercise this week, and my new weight is 14 stone 11. So that's all right. We're down a pound. We're still heading in the right direction. Got to take that. I'll absolutely take that. We move on. And the past couple of weeks I've been trying to get myself back into training, because I've got 2 things to do this year. One is a half marathon. Well, actually I've got 3 things to do in the next few months. At the end of March, I'm running a 10k, the first 10k of the year. To the middle of April, we're doing the Chris Hoy Edinburgh Half Marathon.
which is longer than I've ever run before. So trying to get my head around how I actually do that, because it's a lot of running is basically a mental thing. It's just convincing yourself that you can do it, and certainly I know I can do that with the 10Ks. I haven't convinced myself with the half marathons, which is essentially double the distance. So we've got that to look forward to, and then at the start of June, there's the triathlon that I'm taking part in, and this week the entries for it opened, and I'm now registered. And there was the choice of either doing the novice one, which is 400 metre swim, 14 kilometre bike ride, followed by a 2.5 kilometre run, or the sprint one, which is 750 metres swim, followed by a 20 kilometre cycle and a 5 kilometre run. And you know what? I sat there trying to work out which one I wanted to do, and I know that my sister and my brother-in-law are going to do the novice one, and I just thought, got to do it. Both are going to be a challenge, but you know, if we're going to do a challenge, let's make it a proper challenge. Let's make it a real will I make it through kind of challenge. So I may have to crawl over the line at the ends, but I'm signed up now. I'm going to do the sprint one, I'm going to do the longer one. Now, with that in mind, I bought 2 magazines this week. This is my QVC moment, I guess. So yes, been buying these magazines, Runner Magazine and Triathlete's World. Look, Jensen Button on the front. Kind of sort of little crossover into my love of Formula 1 as well. And these are kind of cool, especially because you've got lots of great sort of hints and tips, but I love the Runners one because there's also some nice recipes in it as well. And I'm not so much a bad cook, just I don't always have a lot of imagination over it, so it's quite nice to get a few sort of healthy recipes to do as well. So we've got that, and that's hopefully going to help over the next few weeks, just kind of getting the eating right as well as the training, because it's all very well going at training, but you want to have a good supply of energy, and if you eat the right foods, then you should be able to do it. You can eat a sort of nice healthy balance and still have enough energy to go out and do the training that you need. I mention this because as we head past April and past the end of the Wednesday weigh-in, on the vodcast we're going to follow this. We're going to follow the training as we lead up to June. So yeah, so that's it. So there we go for the podcast this week. We started off in Belfast at the dry dock where they built the Titanic back in 1911, and we ended up here in my flat again. Actually, the whole sort of Titanic quarter in Belfast is worth a little visit. It's quite interesting. We're at the pump house, which is right by the dry dock, where obviously they pumped out the water. And it's quite interesting. They've got an exhibition in there, which sadly you couldn't see the day we were there. Well, we got to see it, but yes, a regular tourist coming off the street wasn't going to get to see it, sadly, because we were taking up all the space. Anyhow, it's worth going to see. And rather randomly, if you get in the open top bus in Belfast, it takes you around all the sort of sites, and then drives you all the way out there, which is a reasonable distance, and you see the dry dock, and it's like, great, now we'll go back again. So I guess that makes the journey even longer as a result. But it's cool. You should do that. Belfast is a brilliant, brilliant city. You should definitely take a little trip out there, because it's getting cheaper and cheaper to go there. And there's so much to do. Apparently, fantastic shopping there. I haven't sampled that yet. Definitely some great restaurants. And if you do go, La Boca is an Argentinian restaurant, and it's worth popping in and having a little meal at. Okay, so that's it. If you're playing along to the Where's Ali Going to Be Next Week competition, then good luck. I know where I'm going to be starting the podcast from next week. I believe there's a few people trying to work out exactly where I'm going to be. I imagine I'll have thrown everybody this week by starting in Belfast rather than somewhere in the Kingdom FM office. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see where I get to next week. Thank you very much for watching, and the podcast, as ever, back next Sunday from 10 p.m.